What is up, everybody? Welcome to the live stream. You're just hearing my voice right now. I haven't turned on my camera or anything yet. I just put it out into the whole entire internet world that I am live. Um, if you are here over on youtube.com/Square Circle Podcast, make sure to hit that like button. We're going to be discussing some topics before we get into watching some wrestling matches, which it will be AJ versus Finn Balor, just for me to go over it, and the Young Bucks versus the Bullet Club War Dogs from NJPW Resurgence. I will have to find the video and we'll watch it like that. Honestly, I didn't really have like anything like planned and whatnot. So we're just gonna play it by ear. That's what we're gonna do today for Tuesday. Um, but yeah, I wanted to get into some topics. I believe that, like, by me putting it almost everywhere, that people will come on by and whatnot, and if you can, tweet out the link. Okay, let me see. Oh, I clicked the wrong thing. Wow. There I go. There I go. Add that there. Let me add this here. Um, I probably should have like an image, right, where it says all the topics that we're gonna cover, but um, this will make do. Hey, Denisha. Oh my God, I don't know why my voice got a little tongue tied there. Denisha, what's up? Thank you for joining the chat. How are you doing, Denisha? Oh my God. Okay. Um. So, uh, I should have like a little thing here to be like, oh, these are the topics that we're talking about. But we are going to get into Jeff Cobb's debut. We're going to be, like I said, going over AJ versus Finn Balor. And we're going to be going over the Young Bucks versus Bullet Club War Dogs, which, I would definitely say that, hey, Kevin, what's up? Thank you for joining me over on the Substack side of things. Um, you know, uh, you guys know that Bullet Club versus Bullet Club War Dogs is just one of those things of like, we didn't really need it. Not at all. We did not need it at all. But the topics that I want to get into that are not like us watching wrestling is the topic that was really hot yesterday on Twitter, and that is the you're not a wrestling fan if insert whatever you want to insert here. The reason why I wanted to touch on that is because I feel like every 6 months or so, right? You're doing well. You got your workout this morning. I hope it was a wonderful, wonderful workout. I need to start doing that too myself. But the reason why I wanted to touch on the whole like stupid phrase of like you're not a wrestling fan if blah 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 is because I feel like there is oh no, wrong thing. Um you know what would make this more fun if I do this. This will make this more fun. Give me a second here, guys. Let me just do this and then I will give my reasoning because I feel like no one listens on Twitter. Oh, wait a minute. What am I doing? Oh, I could just this is what I could do. Whoa. Can I not uh I don't know how I'm gonna make this much smaller. And by the way, if anyone takes this as like a negative for me to put this right here, right? It's just me if I'm just talking about it. I guess you guys can read it like that. It looks mad weird though on it really does. It looks mad weird. Okay. If I were to put it here, right? We'll put it here. Um Okay, so you guys know the phrasing of if you're not a wrestling fan, you know, if you only watch WWE, you know, if you don't do this, if you don't do that. The only reason why I want to bring it up is because I feel like every 6 months or however long it feels that we have the same conversation no matter what. And it's the same usual suspects. It's the same people who have, you know, no picture for their profile, or maybe some of them do, but like the majority are just like, you know, anime profile picture and no true profile picture, right? And, you know, people just fall for that engagement trap where it is essentially engagement farming, where it's like, you know, you're not this if, you know, you don't watch everything, you know. And then we also have in the same breath when it comes to this conversation of what's the other one that like they say that you're not a real wrestling fan if you like if you only watch WWE. Oh, enjoy all wrestling, the enjoy all wrestling crowd. How can I forget? Because I don't like the enjoy all wrestling crowd because they don't even follow what they say. They don't. Because you're supposed to enjoy all wrestling even if wrestlers end up getting released from their contracts. You're supposed to enjoy all wrestling. There shouldn't be like no qualifier to be like, oh, but I follow where the wrestlers go. No, you don't. No, 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 you don't. And I say that because you know, New Japan Resurgence just happened in LA, and LA is a very big market for like wrestling in general, whether that's like WWE, AEW, MOW seeing a lot of success right now over in LA. And then, you know, New Japan, like that's their home for like New Japan of America and stuff like that. So, you know, looking at, the tickets that weren't sold for that building for New Japan Resurgence is sort of like, are these fans the same ones that talk online? Are they the same ones going to buy a ticket? No, they're not. And you might be like, how do we get to that? It's because sometimes this shit is like interconnected, which I think I just made that up. Um so but yeah, the conversation about um I'm sorry, I'm looking up something and something is not right. Something is wrong for what I'm looking up. Um by the way, guys, if you like what I'm saying so far, by all means hit that like button while I try to figure out what is wrong with the website. I'm gonna check back later. Okay. Um So yes, the discourse of like, you're not a wrestling fan of this if you only watch WWE, is this, my take is that you're wasting your time on reacting and giving your opinions to people online that are going to just copy and paste the, you know, the rhetoric of, if you only like WWE, you're missing out on everything else. Do people necessarily have to go out and like listen to other things, I mean, I've said this before that we don't say this for like any other sport, right? Let's take obviously football for an example. And when I say like, football is just that there's a bunch of different teams. And everybody has their favorite teams. They may have like maybe two favorite teams. I don't know if I ever came across somebody where they were like, I have two favorite teams on like two favorite football teams. If you guys know somebody who does, let me know in the comments. But I've always come across people that are just like, I like this football team. They're my team. They're going to go win the Super Bowl, blah, 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 right? But does somebody in that fandom go to them and say, you're not a real football fan if you're not liking all the teams in football? You should also be liking the teams that I like as well. Like, no one is doing that. No one is telling people in the football community that like you have to like all the teams that are in the football league. The same way in basketball. Again, I'm gonna say that I've never met somebody that like two different basketball teams, or I might be wrong. Again, if you know somebody, like, drop it down in the comments or something like that. But for the most part, people like at least one basketball team and they are like ride or die for that basketball team. No one's gonna be like, oh, you have to like everybody else in basketball and you also have to like my favorites too. Like, no one does that. But for some reason, when particular wrestling companies, AEW, tends to slow down, very, 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 very much slow down, in terms of like coolness and popularity and that height that they were at, for about maybe like 3 years. I'm being generous, like 3 years, 3.5 years. When things start to slow down, that seems like the motivation that certain Twitter accounts will have, and they will just put it online about, if you only watch WWE, you're missing out. You're not a real wrestling fan if all you do is watch WWE. There's so many different wrestling promotions out there and blah, blah, blah. You do know that everybody is different, right? I do not get on people if they do not want to watch New Japan Pro Wrestling. And I had to explain that to certain mutuals and fans of mine, like on Twitter, that like, whenever I talk about New Japan Pro Wrestling, I am not going to be pushing New Japan Pro Wrestling on people to watch. I'm not like, oh, watch or else. No, I basically tell people that like, hey, this is what I know. This is the knowledge that I'm sharing. And if, you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. But I'm sharing the knowledge with you rather than being like, oh, go Google it. Oh, go look it up. Go do this. Go do that. Like, no, that's not how you try to bring in new fans to a promotion that you like. Now, there are certain promotions out there that I'm just like, I just don't touch, just because I'm like, that's not my type of thing. Like, there's no way that I can like sit there, watch it, and then like talk about it, meaning like, GCW and like DDT Pro. GCW only for the fact that like I just don't like death matches, even though I do know that not every match is a death match. But when you have the perception of being death match no matter what, and the documentaries and stuff like that, and even though you try to add in like regular matches and like intergender matches and stuff like that, it's not going to take away the first perception of the company and how it looks on the outside. It's not really going to take that away. So I just don't like deathmatch wrestling at all. I don't think that we need deathmatch wrestling. I do think that like if a wrestling match needs violence in it, then yeah, if it's for the story. If it's not for the story, then don't include it. Do not become like Jon Moxley and bleed everywhere every single second or every single match. Don't do that, because then you're just going to water down the in-ring storytelling ability, which is now, sort of like a lost art amongst the new age generation of wrestling, of wrestlers. There's only a few left that I can see when I watch their matches of like them putting on a great damn show, putting on a story inside the ring, because you know it's more than just, you know, are you good on the mic? Cool, you're good on the mic. Are you selling tickets? Are you trying to sell tickets? And even if like you haven't figured out, yo, Mo, what's up? I'm just explaining in general about the whole thing of like you're not a wrestling fan, because I saw that discourse yesterday and it's fucking stupid. It really is. But anyway, yeah, so telling a story inside the ring, you know, it's a very lost art form and not many modern wrestlers know and understand how to do it. You know, that's why sometimes when I look for matches to review right here on Tape Study Series, I basically try my best to point out the story to those that are watching, so that way we could be like, oh, there's a story inside this match. Yo, LC, what's up? Thank you for joining the chat. How's everybody doing out there? So basically, getting back to the you're not a wrestling fan thing, right? You don't need to waste your time with those that want to put that rhetoric out there, because they are going to post and they're going to ghost. They don't give a shit about what you say or like how you like respond back to them. They don't really give a shit about that. They care about engagement farming. They care about, you know, putting it out there and copy and paste. People copy and paste on Twitter. Like, nobody is like truly themselves on Twitter. Everybody wants to play a part, wants to play a character, and they don't know how to be themselves, because it is much easier to fit in with the crowd that you think is going to like accept you forever. But like once they had enough of you, they'll chew you up and spit you out. And then you're like, oh my God, how do I live? How do I live on the internet that people, you know, threw you under the bus? I am a living example of like getting thrown under the bus, getting my name dragged through the internet, and still making content about professional wrestling. It hurts. Recovery might take a bit, but you guys get 100%, you know, who I am, how I talk, my thoughts, my opinions, whether they are fiery, passionate, and, you know, whether you agree or not agree with them. That is what I do. I basically show up, and I show up as myself. But some of those, like, you know, you're not a wrestling fan if this like got out of hand, and it's like everybody from everywhere wants to comment on it. And it's like, you don't need to comment, because your comment is not really going to do much for the conversation as a whole in the wrestling community. That's why we are in like the deepest of deepest bubbles. And if I were to ever try to like get out of the wrestling bubble, I'm way too deep in the trenches to get out of that shit. Way too deep in the trenches. But that doesn't mean I can't pivot my content and like, you know, do some other stuff. I just really don't like talking about certain things that happen on Twitter, unless it's like drama that like involves me, as you guys know. But yeah, if you enjoyed that, make sure to hit that like button right here on youtube.com/Square Circle Podcast. And if you are already not following me over on Twitter, and I mean, not Twitter, well, Twitter at Marie_Shadows, or twitch.tv/Marie_Shadows, and also on Substack, marieshadows.substack.com. We're going to be watching some wrestling over on those sites. Yo, John, what's up? Thank you for being your first time here. How's it going, buddy? And of course, if anybody has any opinions that they want to share, by all means, you know what to do. Drop your opinions in chat. I'll read it. So that was like the first segment that I wanted to talk about, with the whole thing of like, you know, the you're not a wrestling fan of this or that. But I will say that after the other topics that I talk about, we will be watching wrestling where I break down professional wrestling matches over on excuse me. I had like lunch like an hour ago. Over on like Twitch and Substack. The building was half empty while I was there, and lots of them left early for some reason. Not too much. Cool, John. Yeah, I I got told the same thing in DMs, Mo, about the building being like half empty and people left. Apparently people left after the Young Bucks match, and I was like, yo. And then the kicker is that people online want to tell me that I'm wrong while I'm here like, guys, this is what's really happening in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Like, why are we denying the obvious and like, seeing stuff in real time? Yo, Demon Ref, what's up? Welcome to the chat. You like breakdowns? I love breakdowns too. Let me just see if I do this. No, is it this? Just talking about some wrestling before we head over to watch some wrestling. I dropped the newsletter. By the way, if you guys don't know, I have a wrestling newsletter called the Square Circle Podcast Hub because I don't know what else to name it. And that has more in-depth analysis about professional wrestling, breakdowns of professional wrestling. It is completely free. I do put some stuff behind a paywall if I need to put some stuff behind a paywall. I just know that you're not paying $14.99 for lies like David Metzler. Glad that you're here for the first time, Demon Ref. But yes, if you guys look into the chat, once I'm done with basically going over the topics that I'm going to go over, we're going to head over to Substack for more further breakdowns. So if you sign up now, you'll be able to head over there with me. I do these things to like basically warm up the crowd in a way, yes, fans leaving are definitely not a good thing. But then that speaks to the kind of what do you call it? Product that they are putting out, because it doesn't make any sense at all. It really doesn't. I guess I didn't put that either, did I? That's a better way to do it too. It just goes to show what kind of product that they are producing. And if you go into my back catalog, I've been chronicling, the whole downfall. That's not the word I want to use. I'll use downfall for like AEW, but for like New Japan, it's still somewhat of a downfall. But I've been chronicling the whole entire thing about New Japan like sinking. And it's like, I saw on Reddit where somebody was asking like, what happened to like New Japan Strong? And that's me like paraphrasing, because all I do is just like pop in to the New Japan subreddit and just see what people like chat about, talk about. Until the subreddit in New Japan Pro Wrestling, get that chip off their shoulder and get off their high horse. And like, not be emotional people. Or maybe not emotional people, but emotional people, then maybe I'll like go back in there and be like, hey, I made some content. Somebody was asking about the New Japan Strong stuff, like why is it the way that it is? And I've covered this before, and I've said the behind the scenes stuff that happened with New Japan Strong. And I think that, if New Japan is not going to invest in having the weekly show come back, because New Japan Strong was a weekly show, and New Japan Strong was created because we were in the pandemic, the years that we don't want to remember, but they needed something so that way wrestlers can still continue to wrestle. We could get a little bit of like hope back into our lives during that time, and they kept it. And, eventually the guy that was running got hired for the guy that was running it, I should say, got hired for WWE, and everything just went to shit. And they were just like, oh, we're no longer going to have the weekly shows. We're just going to have the pay-per-views. And that's where it went downhill, because the weekly shows were building up to the pay-per-view, and you got a sense of who these wrestlers were. And no, it was not developmental. So if you see that floating around, New Japan Strong was not developmental. It wasn't developmental because it was just a show created with the wrestlers that really did not need development. Some of them were students from the LA dojo. So like the reoccurring of Carl Fredericks, the reoccurring of Alex Coughlin before unfortunately he had to retire, the reoccurrence of Clark Connors, the reoccurrence of Gabe Kidd, even though I think Gabe was over in Japan, and then he came over here to tell us that stuff. But it was just a reoccurrence of like the dojo guys in there, and then like other people from the indies and whatnot. It wasn't developmental. It was meant to be as a like, I don't want to say, it's not an offshoot, but it is a brother brand. We're gonna say that. I don't want to say sister brand, even though that sounds better. But it's like a sister brand, brother brand of New Japan itself from Japan. But those weekly shows helped the American audience to know who's who, and they had enough time to be like, okay, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna watch New Japan Pro Wrestling, I'm gonna watch this, I'm gonna watch that, and it's gonna be one of those things of getting used to these wrestlers. The moment they took it away and then they just have pay-per-views and they don't know how to build towards the pay-per-views, it's more like, what are we doing here? It's more like that, where I'm just like, it's not working. The New Japan Resurgence card, that was a really bad card. A really bad card, really bad build up to it. I don't understand why, we're going to have Goto versus Zack Sabre Jr. on that card. I already know the outcome. Obviously, it was a double pin. Like, what? A double pin, but Goto, our IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, is the winner. How does that make sense? But I did hear that Goto got booed. And I'm here like, how does Goto get booed? Goto is a very inspirational wrestler and a guy that believes, hard work gets you anywhere. And he's a testament to that. Now that he's a champion, he's one of like the biggest baby faces there is right now. And he gets booed in America. When I'm like, I don't think he got booed the last time when he was in America. But I just think it might be the setting. But I don't know, man. I don't know why. Yo, thank you for subscribing, Demon Ref. I appreciate that. But I don't know why he would get booed. If anybody has any theories or any idea for why Goto would get booed in America, in LA, let me know. Also, if you're gonna be watching this after the fact on the VOD, let me know down in the comments as well. But yeah, I just don't understand why Goto would get booed. I don't know what Zack Sabre Jr. does for an American audience. And then after this, we automatically look to Dominion, which is next month, and we have Goto versus Shingo. Why do we have Goto versus Shingo? I don't know. Because it seems like everybody in New Japan can call their shot, except for the 2025 New Japan Cup winner, David Finlay. The fuck? And I know that David Finlay has to fight Evil of House of Torture, because what happened at the end of Bullet Club War Dogs versus House of Torture in the Dog Pound Cage match, which I went over and I reacted to it. Hold on. If anybody wants to watch it, because I cannot put this up on YouTube because YouTube will bring down the ban hammer on me, and I'm just not going to do that. But if you guys want to check it out and me breaking it down, it's right there for you in chat. But yeah, so after what do you call it? After the match, you had freaking Evil over here put the dog collar on David Finlay, throw the leash over the damn cage, and try to choke him out. That's how I'm gonna put it. And I reacted to it in a way that it was like Evil was gonna get me freaking like demonetized. I can't freaking show this shit. He's gonna like hurt my fucking platforms just because of doing that shit. So I had to like fast forward it and whatnot. So there's that. So I know that David Finlay has to defeat Evil first before he could call his shot again to probably get that championship title. And I had thought that the dog pound cage match, the victory was going to go to House of Torture and kick out the Bullet Club members of War Dogs, just because, you know, after 5 years of us complaining and me going a little bit deeper with my analysis and just talking about House of Torture and always talking about that House of Torture can stand on their own. House of Torture does not need the Bullet Club banner under their name, because again, this goes back to the pandemic days, again, years that we don't want to remember. But in New Japan, they needed somebody to continue to like lead Bullet Club during those years, because Jay White was stuck over here and he was the leader at that time. So they appointed Evil. I don't know how, I don't know why, but they appointed Evil. Evil created House of Torture, and then we still had Bullet Club, and then it was all clear for the guys to travel to Japan during that time to take over what was theirs. And we all thought that like the battle, another Civil War battle, they got to stop having Civil War battles in Bullet Club. They really got to stop having that. But you know, we thought another Civil War was going to break out when Evil decided to almost fuck over Jay White during the what is it, the New Japan Cup. So they had a little like scuffle until Gato was like, no, everything is good. No, he didn't mean it, blah, blah, blah. So they swept it under the rug. And then finally, now it comes to a head, you know, 5 years later, that we're like, yo, what are we going to do about House of Torture? House of Torture got kicked out. However, my train of thinking was that because now House of Torture has a brand new logo, which I don't know what they're going to do with that logo. That logo looks great, though. It's a combination of House of Torture and Bullet Club combined together. And I was like, yo, that's a really hot logo. And then they have a brand new theme song. So you can imagine that I'm like, yo, Bullet Club War Dogs is going to lose, because why would New Japan Pro Wrestling now start to invest in House of Torture after 5 years? How and why? I don't understand. But House of Torture lost. So there's that. And by the way, if you guys don't know, I am a House of Torture fan. I know that doesn't like, you know, that's not cool for people out there because they don't like House of Torture. But for all the times that I explain why the shenanigans happen, where they get the ideas for their shenanigans, and like really go back into the history of House of Torture and like, you know, all that stuff, there's a reason why like I'm a fan of House of Torture. I'm just saying it so many times because I know that one of my fans in the community will probably pop up in chats and probably like tell me something. If not, I will see him in the comments after the video. It's an ongoing little like, I don't know, joke at this point, that he doesn't like House of Torture at all. I like House of Torture. And he will let me know no matter what, that that me liking House of Torture is wrong. So if I keep saying it, I don't know if he's going to hear me. I don't know if the universe is going to bring him over. But yeah, so, you know, topic number one was talking about how wrestling fans of like, you're not a wrestling fan if whatever, insert here. The second topic was definitely about like New Japan Pro Wrestling. Like anybody could get me started on that. John in chat had mentioned that there were too many titles represented by AEW. Like, wait, too many titles represented by AEW on the New Japan show? Or just in general? Because AEW has like way too many titles. New Japan has way too many titles, and I talked about how many titles New Japan has, which I don't know. No, I don't think I need to do an update video, but doing that video, oh my god, doing that video talking about all the different titles and shit. So what else was there that I wanted to talk about? I do want to touch on Jeff Cobb's debut. Oh, in AEW. Yeah. AEW has way too many titles. I don't even know like what they do anymore, like what they symbolize anymore, you know? We have our championship title, we have the TBS title. No, that's for women. We have the TNT title, the international title, tag titles. Yo, Brandon, what's up? I'm actually surprised that WWE signed Jeff Cobb because I thought he was heading to AEW. Nah, Jeff Cobb is smart. He's a smart guy. He could see the writing on the wall. And he always does what's best for him. Like if he went to AEW, it will be so bad, man. So bad. He will get lost in the shuffle. He'll get lost in the mix. AEW doesn't know how to use big guys unless they're like Samoa Joe, that Joe does whatever the hell he wants. So no one's going to tell Joe no. But obviously we saw that Miro was benched for like so long until he came to WWE and whatnot, like came back home. But nah, Jeff Cobb is he's a smart guy. Speaking of Jeff Cobb's debut, when he debuted on Backlash, I was immediately like, it's Jeff Cobb! Like, super, just very super happy that he was there and the way that he got debuted. And of course, you know, commentary had to be like, oh, who's that? Oh, it's Jeff Cobb. You know, so happy that he's in WWE because he doesn't need all the bullshit that TJP was giving him. Which, by the way, if you guys have not caught up on the United Empire drama, I have that in my back catalog as well, both here on youtube.com/Square Circle Podcast and over at marieshadows.substack.com and also on Spotify as well. If you guys are Spotify listeners, just search Square Circle Podcast. By the way, I just wanted to mention this. It's kind of funny. So, you know, being a content creator, you can put your episodes like, you know, everywhere. Before Spotify bought out Anchor.fm, Anchor.fm allowed you to distribute your podcast to like 9 different podcasting platforms. And so, you know, obviously one of them is Spotify. Now that Spotify bought Anchor.fm, is just, you know, Spotify for creators. And they integrated all of the analytics. So I was looking over my analytics, and apparently some of you guys who listen on like, you know, Spotify and stuff like that, and even on like Amazon or whatnot, like it takes all these analytics. Apparently some of you guys listen to the show on your Alexa. That is a very interesting analytic to see in my breakdown of like who listens to the show on like what kind of device. But to have it on Alexa, that's kind of funny because I was just making fun of it, like, you know, privately, that, you know, be like, Alexa, play Square Circle Podcast by Marie Shadows. Like, that to me is kind of funny. It's kind of funny, but I appreciate those that listen to the Square Circle Podcast on their Alexa, on Amazon Music, on Spotify, on like Zencaster, on like any other places that you get your you know, podcasts is from. I'm very, very thankful, and I really, really love that. I just wanted to share that little mini story of that some people listen to my show on Alexa and be like, hey, yeah, play the next Square Circle Podcast episode by Marie Shadows. Like, how funny is that? I mean, Cobb is getting the last laugh because he's getting a whole lot of money. Yeah, he's getting a whole lot of money. But back to the Jeff Cobb thing and the whole TJP situation and whatnot. So I do know that at Resurgence, I don't know why they had Royce Isaacs and Jarrell Nelson drop the New Japan Strong Openweight Tag Team Championship titles. They dropped it to Templario, who is now part of the United Empire as a junior weight. and his tag partner is TJP, who is a freelancer. He says it himself, he's a freelancer, and he's wearing all red. When this guy, when this guy was saying in his exposure of like the dirty laundry that they have a group chat to talk about what kind of gear that they're all going to wear in the United Empire. Everybody should be wearing green, but TJP wanted like maybe a darker green and started to do like a pirate kind of thing just because they lost everything and now they got to rebuild. And I'm like, that's stupid, but that's just me. So basically, what do you call it? Yeah, so this guy's wearing red. And then a fan in Japanese was like, hey, why are you wearing red? And I'm really extremely paraphrasing. But like the gist of it was like, hey, what's going on here? Are you not part of United Empire? Are you not this? And then TJP, of course, because everything is public, everybody sees everything. It's all like, oh, no affiliation, and put a gif of like a puppet master. So like, here's the strings of the puppet. And like, if you cut one of the strings, you know, it represents, not, what do you call it? Like, you know, not affiliated with the group. And I'm like, bro, when is the next airing out the dirty laundry? Even though I do not agree with it, because nobody needed to know so far back behind the curtain of like what was going on in the United Empire, just because you couldn't sit down with Jeff Cobb to be like, we got to talk about this like men, not like boys, but like men. And if Jeff Cobb has a sarcastic kind of side, because you know, he probably, you know, says a lot of jokes, says a lot of things, you know, be sarcastic. You got to really tell him like, hey, we can't really do that in this conversation. Like, we really need to be serious about it. And I think that he would definitely do that kind of stuff. I'm not wrong, but Danny's reaction was pretty funny. Yeah. Yeah, that's why when I saw it, I was like, oh, you know, he probably doesn't know. He probably doesn't know. But Jeff Cobb debuting in WWE was really great. It was nice. It was fresh. So Jacob's reaction was amazing, by the way. Jacob's reaction was fantastic. Fantastic. He was so confused. He was like, Solo didn't run this game plan by me, you know. He didn't run this game plan. So that was that. I don't know if anybody wants to throw in some other topics that they would like my opinion on before we move on to watch some wrestling that would have to be, I don't even, you know what? I don't even know if I want to risk it today. But if anybody wants me to talk about any other topics that they have. By the way, I know I didn't start this out with rest in peace to Sabu. We lost him yesterday. He was only 60 and apparently he was like unresponsive in his home. I'm guessing it was in his home. But rest in peace to Sabu, one of the legends in professional wrestling. Let me just see. Let me see if WWE has it up. Unless like, let me quickly check chat. What do you think is the issue when it comes to AEW booking Joshi wrestlers as opposed to WWE? Damn, dude. I feel like you put me on the spot with that question. First of all, that's a damn good question. Second of all, I think it's, my brain wanted to automatically say that WWE allows them to be who they are, but then I'm like, I'm sorry, AEW also does the same shit, so I can't say that, but that was the first thing that I thought of. I honestly think it's presentation wise. And I don't think it's anything else. Um Presentation wise, as in like WWE makes the Joshi wrestlers, so like Julia, Io, who else we have? Uh I don't know why I want to throw Stephanie in there. Stephanie's not really a Joshi wrestler. But like Julia, Io, Asuka, Kyrie, they feel important. Even if you haven't watched them outside of WWE, when they come in, they feel important. And I think it's all about presentation. It's all about their gear. It's all about how they carry themselves. And that's not to say that, like, you know, Mina, who's over in AEW, don't know how to carry herself. You know, or AZM doesn't know how to carry herself when she appears on like AEW and stuff like that. I just think that in terms of looking at these women and like putting them in sort of a movie kind of production where we're like, oh shit, I want to see them every single time. And I don't even know where they were previously, but I just know that we're going to get a really good entertaining kind of deal. That I think that's the difference. Because anybody can, you know, come through the curtains and do cute little poses and cute little dances. But how about if we throw in like a smoke machine, or throw in some lights, or throw in some dancers, or throw in, or not really throw in, or tell the cameraman, hey, I need you to pan up in a very slow kind of like way like this or whatever. Like, I think it's more about the presentation of how Joshi wrestlers are presented in WWE versus AEW. I'm not too worried about the wrestling aspect, because I know that you use the word booking the wrestlers, and that mainly refers to like, you know, putting the matches together, having the match. Both Joshi wrestlers on AEW and WWE, they got the wrestling. That's fine. I think that we got to look outward for how they're presented to answer this question. So I'm going to go with presentation wise. Just because when the Joshi wrestlers get into the ring, they really do look amazing. I do feel like there's like a smoothness when it comes to like WWE when they wrestle. Because some girls could keep up. When it's AEW, the AEW women wrestlers are like, I don't care if I get heat for this, I'm going to fucking say it. Some of them are scared to do certain things and they hesitate a lot. And then that's why they either get botches that happen in the match, or like they don't know how to wrestle with a Joshi wrestler. Because Joshi wrestlers get trained on a whole nother, like 0 to 1,000. Not even 0 to 100, but 0 to 1,000. That's how they like get trained. But I think that the issue is how they're presented, because anybody could be a wrestler. But what do you remember the most about your favorite wrestler that you have seen? And most of the time, the answer will be presentation wise. And it's kind of unfortunate in a way where, like, you know, it's supposed to be professional wrestling, but professional wrestling has a little bit of everything. Professional wrestling is, like I said, the greatest form of a theater, meaning like a theater play. Except that, you know, over here in professional wrestling, people defy gravity. People defy physics. People are taking bumps that they shouldn't be taking and still end up walking away on their own 2 feet, you know, give or take. There is the 1% that like anything could go wrong, but the 99% is that these motherfuckers get up on their own feet and like walk and go home and still have like a life, you know, even though they're in like fucking pain and everything. But Yeah, it's about like the presentation more than the wrestling because like I said, anybody could be a wrestler, anybody could lace up boots, anybody could go to a school and be like, "Hey, I want to learn the fundamentals." All right, cool, you learned the fundamentals, you graduated. Now here's your first match. But when they come out through that curtain, are you remembering the kind of entrance that they have? If they like pay attention to the crowd, if they have good crowd work, just like the little tiny things that make a wrestler, a wrestler. Yo, Robs, what's up? Thank you for stopping by the chat. Good afternoon. But yeah, that is my very, very long-winded answer about what do I think is the issue when it comes to AEW booking Joshi wrestlers as opposed to WWE. It's all about presentation. Because like I said, anybody could be a booker. Anybody can bring out that pen and be like, I want Mina. I'm always gonna fuck up her name, but they could say I want Mina versus AZM, or I want Mina versus Mayu, and then it's like, bam, there goes a match. Okay, but how are you gonna sell it? What are you gonna do to sell it? Because you already know that the wrestlers that you booked know how to wrestle inside the ring. You're not really gonna tell them like how to do it, but you can tell them how they can be presented so that way they can feel like a big deal. And that's what I like about the Joshi wrestlers that come to WWE versus when they show up in AEW, because I know that they're not going to get that same treatment. I know that they're not going to be on a bigger platform, and no one is going to give a shit about them. The AEW crowds really don't give a shit about the Joshi wrestlers that come on through. They might have to act like it, but they really don't give a shit about them. The only time that wrestling fans gave a shit about Stardom wrestlers is when New Japan Pro Wrestling did the historic New Japan X Stardom crossover. And that is the only time that people actually cared about women's wrestling in Japan. It made good business for Stardom, and it made good business for New Japan Pro Wrestling, but where the hell are they now? They are nowhere. And when I say they, I mean the fans. I asked that because due to AEW signing Mina to their roster, I'm a bit worried on how she's gonna be booked because she can be a big star in that division. All of those women in AEW can be a big star. The problem is that there is no direction, there is no vision, and right now they are just revolving stories around Toni Storm and Mercedes Moné. Athena may be getting some like revolving door stories, but she's stuck and tucked away in Ring of Honor, and that is completely sad. It really is. As for Mina, she probably signed to AEW because of the friends that she made along the way. It just happens naturally sometimes that like if you are not from a particular place, but you end up making friends in that particular place, you want to go there to feel safe. There's nothing wrong about that. However, sometimes you have to take risk in order to, go above and beyond, what you can do. Yo, G Coalition, thank you for joining the chat. I miss you, buddy. The difference between how AEW and American Indies present Joshi, how WWE presents Joshi, and how actual Joshi. Okay. Oh wait, yeah. YouTube doesn't have like a lot of characters and whatnot. But yeah, like I hope that Mina does well. I really hope she does well. It's just a matter of like not having the division be booked around two stories and that's it. It's like you have all these girls there to basically tell different stories, have different like times. I don't know, but they could tell different stories and like at different segments of the show. There we go, segments, not times. Um, it's the same difference between how AEW fans would give you homework when you ask about a Connors or a Kid versus how people like us will actually point to you. Oh yeah, yeah. That is one way of looking at it. Which, by the way, I did happen to like stumble across your tweets and your conversation with one person about the first topic of this show, which was you're not a wrestling fan if blah 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 blah. But you did touch on something in your tweets, G, where you're like, you know, we rather show the video or like spread some knowledge about the wrestler in question, because it is getting kind of tiring, that people that I know, even though I know they're joking, will be like, who, or what's the story, or like some shit, and that's all thanks to like the bots and the 19 to like 25-year-olds that you guys argue with on Twitter, that have no sense of professional wrestling, have no sense of life, have no experience, but all they know is the phone, the screen, and social media, and to just say stuff for saying stuff. You know, it's like, you guys need to stop talking with the young people of professional wrestling who are professional wrestling fans, because they're not. I don't know why they got into professional wrestling, to be fans, because it's like everything that they say is fucking stupid, and it causes an effect of engagement farming. So it's sort of like, why do you guys engage with those like 19-year-olds, man, that are like, I'm a wrestling fan? Like, oh my god, how dare you, you know, not like anything else. Or when they're like, I used to watch it. I don't know, they're 19. When the hell did they start watching wrestling? But it does get kind of annoying about that. Also, what's going on with Mega Bane? Because when it makes sense for her to go after Tony due to her losing by a roll-up and should be getting to revenge. I can't tell you, man. I can't tell you. But what I can tell you is that wrestlers have egos. And sometimes wrestlers don't want to lose, and sometimes wrestlers would react if their character is getting decimated, you know, like that. And losing on a roll-up? I mean, WWE has that problem too with the women division of getting a roll-up. But shit, man, like who, you know, this is like a good little, I guess, advice, because it is tape study today. The advice would be that if you're gonna do a roll-up, make sure that it's a different kind of a roll-up, not just like, oh my god, I saw it coming from a mile away, but like a very interesting, fresh kind of roll-up, where no one is expecting it, because you had a really, really, really good match. Roll-ups weren't really thought of. You have like these false finishes, and then because one wrestler gets like overzealous and like over cocky and confident, you end up doing the roll up, and bam, you get everybody. Like, that'd be great. Yes, and I do not like them. I have heard of Covalent TV. Yes, I don't like them at all. Why do you ask? I'm just checking my chats on the other sides, just in case. Because eventually we do have to watch some wrestling. I have to find some wrestling. For some reason, why doesn't this one not want to work anymore? Did they nuke it? I have no idea, man. I think they nuked it. Is that the full match? Okay, this is no, that's a TLC match. Damn, that's 2017 that I don't want to watch. Um, I mean, I just I don't like their takes. They build upon the negativity for no reason. And then it's sort of like clockwork where if any of the dirt sheets says something and it gets put out as news, they run with it. Like I have it in uh I think I have them like muted or something like that. Like it's like, why do you want to try and just farm the negativity and just post and ghost and not really contribute to making the ecosystem of the wrestling community on Twitter, better? I was just asking because I don't like them either, and it shows their bias, but people are saying they are the truth tellers when it comes to talking about WWE. That's because people who don't like WWE will call anybody a truth teller if they are talking against WWE or trying to find reasons why others should not like WWE. You know, most people when they watch wrestling shows like the Square Circle podcast, like other shows that you guys like watching where someone is talking about professional wrestling, a percentage of their audience sometimes looks for the herd mentality of when someone says WWE is bad because of X, Y, and Z. WWE is bad because I need to include modern day politics into my arguments and thought process and be like, oh my God, WWE is so bad. I can't watch it anymore, guys, because of, insert political thing here, or insert that they fired or released WWE wrestlers that they weren't going to do anything with them. A certain percentage of our audiences, like together, look for the herd mentality, and they want the person on this side that holds the microphone to say the things that they want to hear, because those people that are listening are too afraid to say it themselves. Even if they have an anime profile picture, they are too afraid to say it themselves. So they look to people like myself and other hosts with the microphone to be like, hey, let me talk to you about this, and we're gonna have this herd mentality, and we're all gonna agree that WWE is bad because of all of these reasons that have nothing to do with WWE itself and the product itself. Every time they go live, they always have a title on their YouTube, always shitting on WWE, having a bad show. And even though most of the times they have good shows, but when it's AEW, they will praise it. It's the same old, it's like clockwork, dude. It's like, we had this like not too long ago. And it's about having that influence and that currency. And by the way, they probably don't even believe half of the shit that they say, but because people want to play a character and because people want to have that herd mentality and get the numbers up and get the clickbait up, they want to like not be themselves. And so people are going to be like, oh my God, they're telling you the truth. And that's because, like I said, if WWE does something, it's bad, but it's never bad about like critiquing the product itself. Because with WWE, what they do is that they give you enough to talk about for weeks to come rather than revealing their whole entire hand. AEW reveals their whole entire hand. Now, I don't know how many people, like, play like poker or just something that has to deal with like cards or whatever, but you do know that like WWE always has their poker face on, so you never really know exactly what they're thinking or where they're going. You might have a sense of direction of like where they're going and what they're doing, and some stuff is predictable, but for the most part, ever since Triple H took over, it has been like not so predictable. Some stuff is predictable, but not everything. But when it comes to AEW, they show you their hand. And they've been doing this, but they want to chalk it up to being a meta kind of wrestling company where they go online, get the online people riled up, aka Ricochet, and they use that to their advantage to tell stories because they can't tell stories on their own without leaning on Twitter. And I've said this before in my like back catalog, because it fucking annoys the hell out of me that people don't see this shit. And like see what they do because they can't tell stories. But AEW would reveal their whole entire hand to the wrestling fans, and wrestling fans would eat it up, and then they want something for like next week, and then it's like, whoa, you know, how we're gonna top last week? This is why WWE doesn't like reveal everything, and they have a lot to go on like in their chamber. However you want to take that, because that wasn't the phrase I was like looking for. But yeah, it's just one of those things, man. My nose. On my nose. Honestly, you know, maybe if this was like 2 years ago, probably I would agree with you with the you feel like the majority of AEW fan base is comprised of the hardcore wrestling fan anti WWE people, which is like true. I'm still gonna agree with you, but I think now it's more like, you know, people who are just assholes. I just feel like people want to be assholes because that's the cool thing to do now. But they want to put it under the disguise of you know, I don't know, playing the victim. That's not, no, I don't know. But yeah, I agree with you. I just think nowadays in 2025 it's more about like what do you call it? Just being an asshole. And being like, oh, WWE is bad because all of the external stuff. So like, you know, all the stuff that we don't really touch on here, like the politics and all that kind of stupid shit. You know, WWE sucks because of the external stuff. And then people rationalize that and they take it to Twitter and they know that they can engagement farm. They know they could get money. They know they could be victims. They know that they can, you know, try to shape the world in their image. But their image is very, very selfish. And it's like, you can't live like that. You can't live like, you know, always wanting the worst in your life when life is beautiful, life is precious, life is short. And it doesn't do nobody any good if everything is so negative just because you want it to be negative and you believe that the internet is fueled by negativity and that brings money in and all that kind of shit, because the moment that somebody does something nice or does a good deed, and you know, no one really cares when we should be caring. We say that we should be caring about like the positive stuff, but not overly positive, because you don't want to be toxic positivity, because then that leads back into being negative and being bad. I know I'm jumping all over the place. I just hope that you guys understand the concepts of what I'm trying to say here, is that the wrestling fans, the ones that don't have a profile picture, the ones that have burner accounts, the ones that have anime profile pictures, the ones that are never themselves, the ones that are snakes in the grass, aka all the dirt sheets, they know how to play the game, and everybody falls into the trap. They do not contribute to the ecosystem that is professional wrestling over on Twitter. If they did, it would be a way more healthier environment. You can't control everything, but you can live with enjoying the wrestling that you enjoy and the conversations that you have with the people that you make, the friends that you make, not the people that you make. We're not, no. This stream is about to be turned into X-rated. All right, Brandon, no problem, man. Enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. The rest of the stream is going to be on Twitch and Substack for the breakdown of the matches. If I can find the matches, because I can't find the matches. That's great. But yeah, just to let you know. So yeah, it's just that I don't think it's healthy for people online on Twitter to be living in this bubble of where they have to take external forces and apply it to everything in their life and be like, oh, woe is me. I am So depressed. Oh, woe is me. I don't think that's very, very healthy. It's not very, very healthy for the wrestling community at all. G Coalition, thanks for saying that it's forgivable. Like, I was not putting two and two together when I said that they had, stuff in the chamber. I don't know. I just wasn't. Besides, obviously, Jay White is there. Other talents you could easily see prospering in WWE based on not what they need to develop, but their toolbox skills right now. Exactly. Like, I would have loved if Jay White went over to WWE, man. Like, I would have loved it, because it would have been fantastic. Just because Jay White is my guy, man. That's all it is. I praised the hell out of him back in the day, in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and he does a fantastic job. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're enjoying this whole entire conversation and all the exact truth telling that we do here on the Square Circle Podcast, hit that like button, hit that follow button, and if you want to, you can send in some super chats, and you can also get a membership right here on youtube.com/Square Circle Podcast. Other than that, I need to find the two matches that we're going to be watching today. And like I said, we have to watch these matches over on Twitch and Substack, just because I do not want the banhammer to come down on me. But first, if I can find these matches, that would be fantastic. That would be fan-freaking-tastic. Excuse me. I should have planned this out better, but do I plan stuff out? Most of the time, no. I don't plan this out. I should plan this out, but for some reason, I don't know what is happening nowadays. I don't know why one place is not working. I really do not want to sign up for this. I don't know what's happening. All right, what the hell do we do? Because I don't want to end the stream. Okay, I just think it's the website now. I just think it's the website. I am live and I can see myself live. Did someone really put that match up? The hell? Or is this a... Oh, it's fan recorded. Okay, so I mean they really can't do anything. Man, I could imagine what Switchblade would be getting involved in right now, either if he were in WWE or if AEW had any concrete plan for the Bang Bang Gang that didn't involve scissors. Yeah, man, I would have been great. Yo, Chris, what's up? Welcome to the chat and welcome to the stream. This weekend, I heard AEW humiliated Lucha Libre CMML over its ticket prices for Grand Slam in Mexico. AEW is doing the same with Lucha Libre CMML. Yeah, I heard something like that. I don't know, but people were saying that it was sold out. That Grand Slam in Mexico got sold out. But either way, I think it's the same shit of what AEW is doing to like New Japan. They're doing it to CMML. So, yeah. Exactly. AEW is taking advantage of CMLL as much as New Japan. All right, let me see what is up with this website because then we're gonna have to like probably watch some like Jim Cornette or something. Like for some reason, I can't seem to find what I want to find, and this is so weird. Okay, well, what do you call it? I really hope that they did not get nuked. I really hope they don't get nuked. Cause now, what am I gonna do? I bet you when the live stream is done, um, that I'll be able to find what I need to find. New Japan gave the match for free on their official website. But I'm looking at the match. I'm looking at the triple threat of Mercedes Monet versus I believe it's AZM and Mina, right? Yeah, it was a triple threat. Uh, Let me see. Um, if anyone said anything in chat, I'm sorry. I'll be right back. Um, if Tony Khan ain't gonna do business with other promotions, he might as well sell his company to somebody that can book it. Mercedes Moné lost her New Japan. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I didn't. Thankfully, I didn't see her throw a tantrum like a child. But you know, I mean, it's a triple threat. She said that she got screwed or whatever. And I'm like, it's a triple threat. Anything could have happened. Um, but you know, I honestly don't. I mean, if Tony Khan ever did like try to get a booker for AEW, I don't know if he would allow that to happen just because he wants to have hands on into everything. So like I don't know. All right, I'm going to search for something on my phone and see if it works. Cuz if not, we are technically screwed for today. Um if WWE and New Japan Wrestling start a partnership, it will help get New Japan back on track to bring New Japan its American TV deal back. Yeah, man. Like, I am, listen, if you don't know by now, I am all for New Japan Pro Wrestling working with WWE. Tanahashi, just reach out to WWE, man. Like, The Rock is the Rock is waiting. Do not tell me, do not tell me they freaking nuked it. Oh my god. I don't get it. Um we might have to switch plans and watch some indie wrestling matches. If anybody would like me to watch an indie wrestling match that is not AJ Styles versus Finn Balor or the Young Bucks versus Bullet Club War Dogs, drop it in chat, please. Fuck, man. There goes my fucking plans and my show. Yeah, but it really wasn't it really wasn't AEW's fault for the American TV deal going nowhere. It really wasn't a TV deal in a sense. It was just showing matches. There was like nothing else. It was great for the few thousands, that, or hundred thousands, or at least thousands that were watching New Japan Pro Wrestling on Access TV, but it really wasn't like AEW's fault. It was just bad business in a way, and that they didn't renew it. Crap. Great. Unless I'm not typing it in right and it's not popping up. So now what do I do? What do I do for tape study series? Let me see if I can find something here. I don't even think doing that will work. No. I think everybody is to blame. Everyone is to blame for a little bit of everything. Okay. CM Punk for president in 2028. Oh my god, no. I don't think that would go over well. All right, so let me see something. If I were to do like, okay, that works, but why can I not get like wrestling on this site? Oh, see, ah, all right, we're back in business. I hope so. I hope that, man, I was about to be like, what the fuck else do we do? Okay. Um, I'm gonna have to create a like an ending screen for this whenever we do like tape study series where I'm like, hey guys, follow me over to the other ones. Because like I said, um YouTube would be like banhammer. Jay White would have gone to WWE. He would have been a good choice for Raw or SmackDown. Yeah. I would like to have Jay White over at WWE to not only create stories but also create good stories in NXT with those guys. Just so that way they can learn how to create good stories. Okay. So I need just okay. I don't even know if okay. Um so this is what we're gonna do. And I know that there are 6 to 5 people that are watching me. Um when NWA World Champion Jeff Jarrett defended his NWA title in Mexico, it was a good partnership for TNA and Lucha Libre AAA in 2004. That's what good wrestling is supposed to be. Okay, I am seriously after this. I'm going to probably create a little ending thing. So, for those of you that are watching, welcome to the stream. Welcome to youtube.com/Square Circle Podcast. I'm Marie Shadows, and I'm the host of Tape Study. In the title, it says Substack Tape Study. So what Tape Study is, we're going to be watching professional wrestling matches and breaking down wrestling matches. And these are not indie wrestling matches, so I can't do that here on YouTube. So if you guys would like to look over to chat to see where I am going to be at for the remainder of this stream. And sign up and follow along if you want to get a breakdown and continue talking wrestling with me. I apologize for moving from place to place, but like I said, I want to keep my YouTube alive and ready. Any kind of replay will be obviously on here on YouTube, and then the wrestling portion of it will be on Substack, marieshadows.substack.com. That wrestling newsletter is free for everybody. You're not going to get charged $14.99 for it. And you get to listen to me break down professional wrestling matches and talk about it and explain this and that and react to it and get a first-time reaction to these wrestling matches. This is something that I really want to bring back, but I like to start with hyping up the crowd in like it's supposed to be the first hour. We're here like an hour and a half, which is great because I love conversation and stuff like that. But like to get the crowd hype and then follow me along over at Substack and Twitch for that. Just because it's a lot more better and stuff. So if you guys can, that would be very, very amazing. So that way you don't get interrupted with any kind of ads and we can definitely, have some fun over there. Okay, let me just see. I hate this. Yeah. So all for today. We're probably just gonna watch one match, and then Thursday we'll bring it back with AJ versus Finn. Do the same thing because I want to be on a schedule where it's like Tuesdays and Thursdays. We talk about topics, and then we watch wrestling together on the other on the newsletter and stuff. Just because like I want to bring that back. But yeah, we're gonna end up watching and talking about the Young Bucks versus Bullet Club War Dogs. You guys are gonna get like a really authentic man, I'm probably gonna yell at the screen. So links are in chat. Join me over. Let's do this. Does it not work? Okay. Let me connect my headphones while I'm here. I did want to talk about my content and what to be and what to like expect going forward. Expect this to be going forward. And I've been writing more because one of the projects that I want to do and want to publish is a cyberpunk novel that I've been working on for like what feels like forever, but now I have it down. Like what I really want to like have the characters say, characters do. And then I want to work on standalone videos such as talking about different WWE theme songs, whether that is wrestler theme songs or show theme songs. And there was also another video too that I wanted to do that I can't remember right now. But for the remainder of this stream, like I said, we're heading over to Substack and we're heading over to Twitch to watch some wrestling. And if you would like to join me there, all the links are in the chat. And I will see you guys next time on YouTube. So join me over on those two. But I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation on YouTube. And I hope to see you guys next time in chat. Thank you guys for stopping by and chatting with me. But the party continues over on Twitch and Substack.